Lately, the YouTube algorithm has been suggesting videos like this, and this. And it had me thinking, are dark-skinned women considered less feminine? We need to talk. Now, the purpose of this video is to open the floor to have a conversation about this new divide in femininity, in the femininity community. I had the question because I saw so many suggested videos about dark skin femininity. And I want to know and I want to understand. So that is the purpose of this video. I am in no way, shape, or form trying to use this video to perpetuate colorism amongst the Black community. That is not the reason for this video. And I know I have seen some comments as I watch these videos. I've seen team light skin or team dark skin, and when I hear those phrases, it really makes me cringe. So do not do that. I don't like it. I don't stand for it. I want to have a conversation, a real honest to goodness conversation. Now, I will be showing clips of other people's content in this video, and that's not to, you know, put them on blast or anything negative. It's to get another side of the story. It is to understand where they are coming from, and I want you guys to see what I saw, and let's get into it. After seeing the many titles roll in about femininity and dark skin, I decided to take a look at one, and I want to share a clip of the first video with you.
That do femininity content, but it is something that I really love to talk about, because I think that, you know, so often as dark-skinned women, we're seen as not feminine, not the standard of femininity. And I think it's really cool how we're actually, you know, sort of creating our own branch of femininity and sort of throwing away the old ideas of what dark-skinned women, you know, should be. You know, I'm tired of us only being promoted as, you know, warriors or like, you know, strong Black woman. There's nothing wrong with being a strong Black woman, but like, what if we just, you know, want to be ourselves? What about the awkward Black women? You know, what about the
All right, that's the clip from the first video, and I want you guys to comment below if you have experienced colorism in your femininity journey, or if you think there is colorism in femininity. Now, I will say, after watching that first video, I felt super defensive. I asked myself, why should there be a focus on dark skin femininity, or, you know, femininity and dark skin? I did not understand. I felt like we are all one. Women, we can all learn from the femininity teachings together as a whole, especially as women of color. I feel like we all face the same femininity issues. We live in a society that says, oh, Black women are so strong, and we have to, they darn near masculate the Black woman. And I feel like we all suffer from that. So when there is a divide, when I see these femininity for dark-skinned women, it makes me think to myself, are all women not facing the same femininity struggles to the point where there had to be a colorism divide and certain content was made for dark-skinned women in their femininity journey? That had to be done. After watching the first video and my own perceptions, I thought to myself, that is a load of crap, and I will not settle for it. I do not agree. I do not think that dark-skinned women are being perceived as less feminine than lighter skinned dark women. But I wanted to educate myself. I'm all about education and trying to understand from someone else's vantage point, trying to understand where they are coming from. So I was able to find another creator by the name of Chrissie, who had a lot of content about femininity and dark skin. And so I decided to take a look at some of her content, and I want you guys to check this out with me.
This just for dark skinned women and not just for black women. There were people who were saying, you know, black women as a whole, and many times are not taught by their mothers to be feminine, are not given the privilege of cultivating their femininity in the black community. And, you know, it's a cultural thing, right? I saw comments like that, and I partially agree with that. And I'll tell you why I say I partially agree. Look around. Look around. Look at all of these super feminine, super girly, super prissy, light-skinned women and, you know, mixed women that were raised in the very same black community as dark-skinned women. How did they learn how to be feminine? You know, in the black community, you know, if it's a cultural thing, how do those women in particular know how to be feminine? You know, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them seem to have a better grasp on their femininity than dark-skinned women. Why is that? I'm going to tell you why. How the girl looks, how the black girl child looks, is what in many times determines whether or not her femininity is cultivated. Okay, I remember an old episode, you know, when Tyra had her talk show. I used to love her shows on colorism. And there was this one show, it was about colorism, and she had two sisters on the panel, one light skin and one dark skin. And the parents, both mother and father, by the way, they put their light skinned daughter through modeling. They paid for her college tuition, bought her a car. And she was very feminine, very dainty, very well kept and refined. And her sister was just kind of there. You know, she was just kind of there. You could tell her parents never told her she was beautiful, probably never showed her how to do her hair and put on makeup like they did with their, you know, light-skinned daughter. It's like they didn't even come from the same parents. You know what I'm saying? And let's not act like we've never seen that same dynamic in our immediate environments where black mothers, or even white mothers, or half black mothers, or whatever, they will put their daughters or half black daughters in beauty pageants, right? Or in acting classes, you know, take them to get their hair and nails done so that they look good, you know, for their headshots, for their modeling portfolio, right? They teach them how to do their hair and go the extra mile and doll themselves up and, you know, really, really make themselves look girly, right? And this is how the black community, you know, male and female, treats a lot of light-skinned women and mixed race women, especially if they're attractive. And also, they get their cues from seeing a bunch of extra feminine, light-skinned women in the media. So this is why you see these ultra feminine, mixed women and light-skinned women coming out of the very same community that dark-skinned women come out of. They were given the opportunity to develop their femininity. They were given the privilege to be that way, to be women. You know, they treat them more like women. They really do. They allow them to be feminine and cultivate that part of themselves. The community is not.
All right, so I will say that before watching multiple videos of Chrissie, I came into it and thinking there's no difference between a light-skinned black woman and a dark-skinned black woman. I said to myself, even in her earlier parts of that conversation, I remember thinking like how that woman's femininity is cultivated depends on her mother. And so in my, you know, what I'm saying is, if a woman of color has a feminine mother, that feminine mother is going to, you know, dress her daughter up in dresses. That feminine mother is going to let her daughter have that lip gloss, maybe paint her nails, you know, paint her toes. I feel like if you have a feminine parent, you're going to be feminine, or that parent is going to try to make you as feminine as possible, because my mom, she's like extra girly, you know, feminine, and I'm kind of in the middle on that. So I have natural hair, and my mom does not agree with the poof, the bang, the natural hair. She's old school, and she believes, you know, as women of color, we need to straighten our hair. We need to make sure we always present our best when we walk out the house. Now, I also think that's what makes women feminine, the women who raised them. As I listened to her explanation, as I listened to her talk more about parents that show favoritism in their children, and when she mentioned the Tyra show and the parents having both a light-skinned daughter and a dark-skinned daughter, and really cultivating the femininity of the light-skinned child, it hit home for me. And I have someone like that in my family, my close family, and they too have a light-skinned daughter and they have a dark-skinned daughter. And the light-skinned daughter has like really long hair and, you know, the slanted eyes, and they darn near praise this child. I mean, they praised this child. They went out of their way to take extra care of her hair, and her hair is now long down her back for the light-skinned child. And then the dark-skinned child, you know, her hair is kind of shorter, but I realized the care, the time, attention that they give to that light-skinned child versus the dark-skinned child. Light-skinned child hair always put together. They love to show it off. When they come to family functions, it's like, oh, look at baby hair, you know, look at baby girl hair. And with the dark-skinned child, it's like, when did y'all do her hair? And even when I'm around this, I see how my family and other family members and people that are not in the family, I see how they, you know, oh, she's so pretty, look at this long pretty hair. And no one really says those things to the dark-skinned little girl. And that bothered me when I first started noticing it. And whenever I'm around, I try to make sure I give as much attention to the dark-skinned child, because I don't want her to feel left out or less than or this or that. But I cried when I heard her explanation, because it hit home for me. And even though I haven't experienced it myself, I see it almost every other day when I go around this particular family member, and it really bothers me. So I guess that kind of made me see the light, if you will. That was my, you know, aha moment, if you will, where I was like, okay, girls, I get it. I understand why there is extra attention given to darker skinned women, but I kind of still felt like women as a whole, we all face the same issues. So then I got 6 of my friends together, not 6 personal friends, I mean 6 friends that, you know, Facebook and in person, that I knew, and I asked them 3 questions. The first question was, you walk into a gym, and mind you, these are 3 girls and 3 guys. You walk into a gym, you see 2 girls about to work out. One is lighter skin, one is darker skin. Who do you think is going to be the strongest and lift the most weight? Majority of the people out of the 6, 5 said the darker skinned girl. And then I asked another question where I asked, who do you think is most likely to have lip gloss and lotion? And majority, 5 again, said the light skinned girl. And I was like, wow. Like, and there was only one, and the reason I say 5, there was one guy in this who knows me personally and knows how I feel about colorism. And he was like, I asked him, I said, which one is going to lift more weights? And he said, the stronger girl. And I was like, answer the question, just pick one. And he was like, I don't know which one is strong and which one is not, but he was the only one that kind of took that approach. And that really surprised me. And mind you, I asked this question on social media and I asked it in my personal life. And on Facebook, I had a guy say to me, when that man perceives that woman to be as strong as he is, he feels as though that is a threat to his masculinity. So he's already projecting masculinity onto her just by the color of her skin. And that feels like a threat to his personal masculinity. And I was blown away that you can look at someone and say by the tone of their skin that you're almost as strong as me. That means I can't be a man for you because you're almost an equal man to me. I really didn't understand where he was coming from with this. And I reposted it, you know, so other people could, you know, let me know. And a lot of men was like, yeah, I don't date dark-skinned women because they do intimidate certain types of men. And I chopped it up to, you know, you guys are just some weak men who can't handle somebody.
Many have not been taught to be feminine. They have not felt comfortable with being feminine or safe being feminine in their families or the community, the Black community. And unfortunately, they have internalized their perceived masculinity, you know, and they really think they're masculine because of what people have told them and how they are treated. And they outwardly express that masculinity to their own detriment, okay? And if you're not a woman...
But isn't that what society does to Black people? How are we doing to each other what the nation does to us as Black people? Do you understand what I'm saying? So the world, the nation looks at us as Black women as strong and masculine. And then in the Black community, you have our own people that look at darker skinned women as strong and masculine. Like, there, you see the divide? I can see it. I don't know if they see it. So then the question was, how do we stop this colorism? Because I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And I think once I really asked those questions and once that comment was made on Facebook, I think I really started to understand why there was an extra support needed for darker skinned women in their femininity journey. Now, I do still feel like we all face the same struggle as a whole, but I understand now that the colorism is still live and in action in the Black community, so the extra support may be needed. That's it for today. I will be coming out with another video this Saturday. I drop videos every Saturday. If you want to tune into that conversation, please hit that subscribe button and like this video if you found it insightful, and let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I really hope you have an awesome day. Mwah.